Delivering the spring statement, the Chancellor confirmed that the basic rate of income tax will be cut from 20p to 19p. Mr. Sunak said, a tax cut for workers, for pensioners, for savers. £5 billion tax cut for over 30 million people. Let me be clear with the House, it is fully costed and fully paid for in the plans announced today. Mr. Sunak also outlined 3 measures to help tackle the cost of living, including a 5p reduction on fuel duty, the scrapping on VAT for homeowners installing green energy and £500 million new funding for the most vulnerable households. Follow below for updates. Key events: income tax to be cut 13:25 inflation hits 30-year high of 6.2% 08:07 13 minutes ago 13:55 Francesca Edwards, he made the wrong choices. Shadow Chancellor responds, the Chancellor's choices are making the cost of living crisis worse, not better, Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves has said. Responding to the statement, Ms. Reeves accused Rishi Sunak of not understanding the current challenges. Ms. Reeves said, at the weekend the Chancellor was asked about fuel poverty and he didn't even know the numbers. It is shameful that he doesn't, because when Martin Lewis predicts that 10 million people could be pushed into fuel poverty, the Chancellor should sit up and listen. She accused the Chancellor of helping out those swindling the taxpayer. She said, for all his tax rising on millions in the middle, where is the increased tax contribution for the very wealthiest in society? She added the Chancellor has made the wrong choices, adding the people powering our economy will be paying more in taxes. 18 minutes ago 13:50 Francesca Edwards' spring statement summary. Here's an overview of the key announcements from the Chancellor's spring statement. 27 minutes ago 13:41 Francesca Edwards has done nothing, energy boss slams Sunak, and energy boss has accused Rishi Sunak of not hearing the outcry over the cost of living crisis. Mike Foster, CEO of the Energy and Utilities Alliance, EUA, said the Chancellor has done nothing to help consumers. He said, his VAT cut on solar panels and heat pumps will be welcomed by those who make them and by those who can afford to fit them, but a VAT cut on energy bills would have helped everyone. Frankly, consumers waiting to hear good news on their energy bills will be left asking, is that it, Chancellor? 33 minutes ago 13:35 Francesca Edwards, he hoped Theresa Rabbit to come out the hat. Martin Lewis has slammed the Chancellor, saying he hopes Theresa Rabbit to come out of the hat. The money-saving expert pleaded for Rishi Sunak to ease the cost of living. But following the soaring statement, Mr. Lewis said, if that's all he's doing on energy, it is limited and won't impact the majority of households who will see a likely £1,300 average increase in year-on-year bills by October. My head has sunk 38 minutes ago 13:30 Francesca Edwards, have your say. The Chancellor has now finished his spring statement, but what do you think of the announcements? Join in the debate in the comments section. 43 minutes ago 13:25 Francesca Edwards, income tax to be cut. Rishi Sunak has cut income tax for only the second time in 20 years. The basics rate of income tax will be reduced from 20p to 19p by the end of the current Parliament in 2024. The Chancellor told MPs, I can confirm, before the end of this Parliament, in 2024, for the first time in 16 years, the basic rate of income tax will be cut from 20 to 19p in the pound. A tax cut for workers, for pensioners, for savers. A £5 billion tax cut for 30 million people. It is fully costed and fully paid for in the plan announced today. 49 minutes ago 13:19 Francesca Edwards' national insurance threshold increased by £3,000. The UK will raise the national insurance threshold by £3,000. From July, people earning below £12,570 will not have to pay national insurance or income tax. Rishi Sunak was met by cheers when he said the Conservatives' plan was to raise the point from when workers begin paying by £300 but said, "I'm not going to do that. I'm going to increase it by the full £3,000. 56 minutes ago 13:12 Francesca Edwards borrowing down, debt down. Chancellor echoes mantra. Rishi Sunak has issued a stark warning to the public saying the economy could worsen potentially significantly. The Chancellor echoed his message last year of borrowing down, debt down. He added, "We must show the world that freedom and democracy remain the best route to peace, prosperity and happiness. We will do so by strengthening our economy here at home. To that end, we are helping families with the cost of living, creating the conditions for accelerated growth and productivity and making sure the proceeds of growth are shared fairly." 58 minutes ago 13:10 Francesca Edwards' vulnerable households support doubled. Local authorities will receive £500 billion of new funding to help the most vulnerable households. The Household Support Fund will also be doubled to £1 billion. 1 hour ago 13:03 Francesca Edwards' VAT cut for green energy. Thanks to Brexit, homeowners who want to install energy-saving material will no longer have to pay a 5% VAT. Announcing the measure, Rishi Sunak said the move was thanks to Brexit. He said, "I can announce within 5 years, homeowners having materials like solar panels, heat pumps, or insulation installed will no longer pay 5% VAT, they will pay 0%. We will also reverse the EU's decision to take wind and water turbines out of scope and zero-rate them as well. And we will abolish all the red tape imposed on us by the EU." 1 hour ago 13:00 Francesca Edwards' fuel duty to be cut by 5p. Fuel duty will be cut by 5p from 6 p.m. tonight until March 2023. This is only the second time in 20 years the measure has been taken. 1 hour ago 12:48 Francesca Edwards' too early to know impact of Russian invasion on UK economy. The OBR predicts that the forecast growth for this year will be 2.38%, but it is too early to know the full impact the Ukraine war will have on the UK economy, the Chancellor said. Mr. Sunak added, "We came into this crisis, with our economy growing faster than expected, with the UK having the highest growth rates in the G7 last year. But the OBR has said specifically, there is unusually high uncertainty around the outlook." 1 hour ago 12:44 Francesca Edwards: "We will confront this challenge by strengthening our economy at home." The Chancellor has begun saying his statement will provide a stronger, more secure economy for the United Kingdom. Rishi Sunak highlighted his sympathy for the war in Ukraine before crediting the UK's economy for providing security in the UK. Referring to the energy crisis and inflation, he said, "We will confront this challenge to our values, not just in the arms and resources we send to Ukraine, but in strengthening our economy here at home." 2 hours ago 12:20 Francesca Edwards' Chancellor admits situation is challenging. Rishi Sunak has admitted the financial outlook is challenging due to soaring inflation and the war in Ukraine. Downing Street released a statement on the economic situation on Wednesday morning. It read, the Chancellor provided an update on the economic and fiscal picture, and described the outlook as challenging given the global shocks we are facing as a result of the conflict in Ukraine and rising inflation. He said that throughout the pandemic, the government has shown the British people we are on their side and we will continue to stand by them through the uncertainty that we now face. He described how the sensible management of the public finances enabled the government to step in and help people with £9 billion of support for their energy bills in February. He said that this government would continue to take a responsible and sustainable approach in order to be able to grow a stronger, more secure economy for the future. 2 hours ago 12:05 Francesca Edwards. Only you have the tools. Martin Lewis pleads to Chancellor. Money-saving expert Martin Lewis has addressed the Chancellor directly, saying only he has the tools to save the UK from the energy crisis. In a message on Twitter, Mr. Lewis pleaded to Rishi Sunak to seize the chance in today's spring statement. He wrote, "Dear Ed Rishi Sunak, the UK is on the brink of a personal finance precipice. Today you, only you, have the tools to pull it back. To save lives. To improve living standards. To reduce millions' anxiety. This is what builds a legacy and makes a great Chancellor. PLS seized the chance 2 hours ago. 11:57 Francesca Edwards. Sunak understands crisis but needs to build resilience for future, says Tory MP Mark Harper is confident the Chancellor will get the balancing act right in his spring statement. Asked if inflation could rise to double figures, the Tory MP said the economic picture is very uncertain, referring to the Ukraine wars. He added, "I think anyone who thinks now they can forecast what will be going on in the autumn, I think is likely to be wrong. I think what it does illustrate is the Chancellor has got competing pressures today." Mr. Harper said Rishi Sunak understands the situation but needs to build some resilience to deal with whatever the future may throw at us. 2 hours ago 11:43 Francesca Edwards speaks to begin shortly ahead of the Chancellor's statement is Prime Minister's questions, PMQs, where Boris Johnson will face Sir Keir Starmer. PMQs will begin at midday, followed by the spring statement at 12:30 p.m. You can follow our live coverage of PMQs here. 3 hours ago 11:38 Francesca Edwards. Labour ready to get economy firing on all cylinders. Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves said Labour will get our economy firing on all cylinders as she prepared to respond to Rishi Sunak's spring statement. With our plans to buy, make and sell more in Britain and our climate investment pledge, we will create a stronger economy, she said. 3 hours ago 11:05 Francesca Edwards. Could the national insurance threshold increase? National insurance, NI, is set to rise 1.25% next month to help raise money for the NHS and social care. But it is thought Rishi Sunak could raise the NI threshold, meaning some lower-income workers would not have to pay it. NI is deducted from your salary to fund services including healthcare. Currently, people earning above £184 a week and the self-employed making a profit of £6,515 or more a year pay mandatory national insurance. The threshold at which you start paying is set to increase to £9,800, but The Times reports that the Chancellor is considering increasing it further to £10,285. 3 hours ago 10:46 Francesca Edwards. What are we expecting on fuel prices? Fuel prices have hit an all-time high in recent weeks, with the Chancellor hinting that he will cut fuel duty. The latest figures show the average cost of a litre of petrol at UK forecourts on Tuesday was £167.3 and diesel was £179.9. Reports suggest Rishi Sunak will cut it by at least 5p, which is currently levied at 58p. Mr. Sunak previously described fuel prices as one of the biggest bills that people face. 4 hours ago 10:21 Francesca Edwards. Rishi Sunak leaves Downing Street. Rishi Sunak has left 11 Downing Street ahead of his spring statement later today. The Chancellor will head to the House of Commons where he will address MPs. His statement is expected around 12:30 p.m. following today's PMQs. 4 hours ago 10:12 Francesca Edwards. 3 in 4 changing energy habits to lower bills. Around 91% of people in the UK are affected by the rising energy costs, according to a new study. Data commissioned by Saxo Markets found that 3 in 4 people have changed their consumption habits to lower their energy bills. Unsurprisingly 79% of people called on the government to step in. But Mike Owens, UK sales trader at Saxo Markets, warned the worst is still to come. He said, with the escalating conflict in Ukraine, greater energy demand as European economies recover from coronavirus and the need to replenish depleted gas stores, the energy crisis isn't going away anytime soon. 4 hours ago 09:55 Francesca Edwards. Sunak has a choice, says Starmer. Sir Keir Starmer has called on the Chancellor to cancel his tax rise and cut energy bills. Reinforcing his party's view, the Labour leader said Rishi Sunak has a choice. 5 hours ago 09:28 Francesca Edwards. Octopus Energy unveils energy lifeline to slash bills. Octopus Energy has launched a new scheme that uses wind potential to save up to £350 a year on household energy bills. Speaking to Express.co.uk, Zoysa Northbond, the CEO of Octopus Energy Business and Generation, explained the firm's innovative green scheme, and how it can be scaled up. She explained that 2 turbines, one in East Yorkshire and the other in Caerphilly, South Wales, can be used to pass significant discounts to consumers. Ms. Northbond noted that towns near the wind turbine would receive a 20% discount on their electricity simply for living close to a site that generates renewable electricity. 5 hours ago 08:58 Francesca Edwards. Economy needs a spring in its step, says business leader Tony Danker, Director General of the Confederation of British Industry (CBI), said the economy needs a spring in its step. Speaking ahead of today's announcement, he said the Chancellor needs to shore up confidence in the economy to make sure we keep growing, otherwise it will just get worse. Mr. Danker added that in the current climate, there's a risk that confidence wavers, businesses stop investing, consumers stay at home, so inflation is hard to tackle. He called on Rishi Sunak to double down on growth and help the hardest-hit households and businesses. 6 hours ago 08:20 Francesca Edwards. Tories call for knee hike to be scrapped. Tory MPs are calling on the Chancellor to scrap next month's national insurance hike to ease the cost of living. Sir Charlie Bean, who was in charge of economic forecasts at the Office for Budget Responsibility until December, said Rishi Sunak has significant wiggle room of an extra £20 billion to £50 billion. From April 6 national insurance contributions will increase by 1.25%. Tory MP Craig McKinley-led demands the unnecessary rise is scrapped, saying it is not too late to pull back. He added that fuel prices are out of control, calling for a 5p cut in fuel duty at an absolute minimum. Commons Treasury Committee member, Steve Baker said, "We should be cutting taxes now, it is what the economy needs. In particular, we should be halting the rise in national insurance, which is a tax on jobs and a tax on the young to pay for the health care of the old." 6 hours ago 08:07 Francesca Edwards. Inflation hits 30-year high of 6.2%. Inflation has hit a 30-year high of 6.2% in February, just hours before the Chancellor is due to give his spring statement. The Office for National Statistics data published on Wednesday highlighted energy bills and petrol as the biggest drivers, whilst consumer prices rose by 0.8% month by month. This is the highest inflation rise since March 1992, when it stood at 7.1%. 6 hours ago 07:49 Francesca Edwards. Good morning, I'm Francesca Edwards. I'll be bringing you all the latest developments on the Chancellor's spring statement. Please feel free to get in touch with me as I work if you have a story or tips to share. Your thoughts are always welcome. Email, francesca.edwards@reachbook.com. Twitter, @FrankieLEdwards.